you know, chums, I've often said about the things of working in media and what it can be like, you know, the sort of thing I'm talking about. You see, the media world is a very, very difficult world. And normally, you know, and I don't mind saying this to you, oh, we'll have a lovely wave. Nice to see you. As ever, you see I'm engrossed in the story. But, you know, as ever, really, it's the things that go on behind the scenes that are far more fascinating. I think I told you a story before about working on a news channel, and this particular news anchor had left open her computer. Oh, yes. And then the news anchor that was taking over sat down and read everything this woman had written about her in secret. Yes, you see, I could write a novel based on some of this stuff. Of course, well, you can imagine what happened behind the scenes. Absolute disaster, screaming, cat fight, hair pulling, all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, it was left to the producer to try and smooth things over. This is exactly what's happening behind the scenes of the cosy but rating failing BBC Breakfast, hosted by Charlie State and Naga Munchetty. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've ever seen an episode of that wonderful Apple TV series starring Jennifer Aniston and the brilliant Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show, that is the tip of the iceberg. You know, the epicenter of all the gossip is the makeup room. Oh yes, the makeup girls are fabulous and they know everything about who's doing what, with who, with when, and all the people that are going to get fired and stuff. It's just incredible. I remember my first day at Fox News in New York, and this particular lady came down the aisle, you know, sort of person who was a big star at the time, and basically said, "Oh, Neil, lovely to see you. Can't wait. You're going to be on my show on Monday." Literally at the same time that she said it, there was a bank of tellies in the corner, and at that point they announced the new person taking over from this woman. And honestly, this is what goes on. And you know when there's a silence in the room and you're like, what do we say now? She picked up a box, there was a big drama, etc. 10 minutes later, she's walking out with a steel box, and that was the end of her. Yes, and I never did get on the 7 p.m. show because the next person thought I was too aligned with her. You get the picture. This is what's going on at BBC Breakfast. You see, Naga Munchetty allegedly doesn't get on with a co-star, Charlie State. Apparently both of them allegedly can't stand the editor, Richard. Richard's got a problem, you see, because the bottom line is people are not watching, and he's unhappy with the way that the programme and the direction. Now, behind the scenes also, apparently, the bigger problem is this, that he's seen as, shall we say, very 90s in his management style. You and I might say he's just hands-on, telling people exactly what he wants and exactly what he wants them to do. But you can't in this climate, can you? It's all mental health and cosy, fuzzy lines. You know, you're not allowed to say exactly what you think. Now, all I can tell you is this. From an excellent source, as I know who works there, there's going to be one or two outcomes from this because the BBC are literally failing. Less and less people are paying for their TV licenses, and Naga is one of the highest paid, and I use this term loosely, stars at the BBC on over 500,000 a year. Charlie's probably putting in about 260,000 pounds a year. So you can see the bone of contention between both of them. They both think they're A-list stars. They both think that they should be given other things. Charlie would like to become a chat show host. Naga just thinks she's brilliant at everything, allegedly. And the bottom line is, as I say, the editor has to try and keep things in check. Moving forward, what's going to happen is that either one or both will be, well, rested, shall we say. And the others, the underlings that are there already, and I mean that in the nicest way, will be rubbing their hands because they'll be thinking, this will be my opportunity to shine. As I said, less and less people are watching mainstream media. What's more fascinating is if they could just place a camera in the green room, the makeup room, the dressing rooms, the gallery, all of that. This is far more entertaining than anything you're going to see on BBC Breakfast. But when you watch them on screen and you hear that familiar tune and they say, "Good morning, you're watching IMEX, IMEX," well, it's all smiles, but behind those smiles and behind that settee, there's a dagger ready to be plunged at any given moment. And right now, one of them is going to face the axe, whichever way round they look at it. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.